Good afternoon, everybody. I'm John Thompson again. I'm here for part 5 of my series on the conversion of the USS Pennsylvania from the Revell 1426 USS Arizona model. I've made several changes since the last build, one of which was I had to make a choice to go with the 1938 scheme, which included the gun directors that were present at the time of the attack on Pearl Harbor. In addition to which, I also have begun to apply photoetch and have permanently attached the funnel. I'm discovering with the gold medal set that I received that I have a shortage of ladders, so I'm not going to be able to do all the ladders in the back of the forward superstructure. There's a whole bunch of ladders, at least 6 of them, that go down the back, so I have to make do without that. I did finish both cranes. All the cranes and catapults are on, and I'm just basically starting to detail now the tripods. I found the ladder stock very nice. It looks a lot better. I did it on one of the rear legs of the tripod. As a matter of fact, I'll show you the model and where I stand today on it. Here you go. Hope everybody can see okay. This is the port side of the model. As you can see, I also made another major change. I had a yard arm boom for the halyards here on the forward mast. I noticed on the 38 though is when she went with this style of yard arm, so I was able to use that photo etch part in the photo etch kit. I also modified this mast deck here. This deck here basically differed from the Revell because it had a kind of an angled piece here and an angled piece over here as well on both sides in the front, and I was able to take a spare piece of the Revell decking, Revell mast top deck from the other Arizona kit, and I was able to graft parts on, so that was actually pretty easy. I did encounter an issue over here though when I used these gun director mounts. They sit a little bit lower, if you notice, than the Pennsylvania did. It was a difference in the Revell Pennsylvania kit, Revell Arizona kit, and the Pennsylvania superstructure, so I sort of had to deal with that a little bit. I wish I would have had longer styrene rod, which probably could have helped, but I had to make do with what I had. You can see here I did the funnel. It's permanently attached. What I added was I added a piece of photo etch on the top of the funnel. I don't know if you could see it in this video, but what I did was I put that on there and decided to install the funnel. Now, there's still stairs that have to go behind this forward part of the superstructure here, which have to go on. Now, when I was talking about running out of stairs before, they give you a stair type. It's called stair B. You get about 8 of them. Two of the 8 go forward here. The remaining 6 go on the stern area, mainly up against the bulkhead, up against this bulkhead here, both sides. There's 2 of them each side, and you also have a couple of others here. You have one against a superstructure element back here going into where the tripod leg is. So I had to do that. I also installed and painted the crane on the stern, and in addition to that, I'm looking to basically redo the range clocks on here next and apply the anti-aircraft guns, which go in these tubs up here. Now, the other issue I have to work on will be the boats. Gold medal models has directions in their kit. Some of the boats will actually have to be shaped down to a new shape in order to accommodate the photo etch. They want you to do that to make it look a lot better, and it does improve the look of the castings from Revell, so that's kind of a big plus there. One of the other things that I have to do on this model is I also have to paint the boats. Excuse me, I had to paint the boats a navy blue, which I'm following from James Flood's picture on the cover of Myron Smith's book. So that is another challenge I've come across in the building. I'm also now trying to work on the port leg of the main mast. I have to put ladder stock on there, as well as some other areas. I probably could have done this in the assembly process, but unfortunately it's kind of difficult to do that. I did leave the stock railings on the mast decks on the mainmast because I didn't want to mess with the photo etch. I'm going to make that look like canvas over railing anyway, so it will give the suggestion and illusion of that to match a picture. And I'm doing the same thing with the foremast deck, so that'll basically bring me to the completion there in that part of the build. And like I said, I'm almost at the point where I'm ready to add photo etch to the bow section where I'm ready to put the railings on. I'm also ready, in addition to which, redoing some other aspects too that require some work. Among them, I added the gun tubs back in. They give you a template in the kit, which is really nice to bend and reshape them. I had to put them back on because in the 1938 scheme there are the gun tubs, the splinter shields. So those had to go back on the ship. In addition to which, like I said, I've added bulkhead doors. They go on, although I did encounter one issue. The 3D printed superstructure, the watertight doors are slightly bigger in the opening, so you gotta be careful, otherwise the parts will fall right through and go inside the model and rattle around and drive you nuts for all eternity. But they do give you extra doors, so you can model open doors if that happens, so it's not the end of the world. I had to cover over all the molded in stairwells or ladder wells in the decks with hatches, so they give you that as well with the gold medal model set. It's a pretty complete set. The only things I'm not going to be using really on the set are going to be the cranes because I've already used Tom's photo etch cranes. They don't give you anti-aircraft guns, ironically. Tom's does, so I have to go with Tom's for my anti-aircraft guns. Basically, it's turning out to be a nice model. I did put new chain on the chain plate, and I had some chain left over again. I think I might have talked about this in the previous video from a craft store, and it looks a lot better. It's the same size. You get that depth and dimension to it. So that's actually a board, and I painted it up. Looks great. And so I'm doing a little bit here and there. It's coming along, and hopefully pretty soon maybe I'll have something more finished to show you. It's a lot of the photo etch is taking time because you have to do individual photo etch parts on the actual boats themselves. I was hoping to do 4 planes, but I only have enough photo etch for 2 planes. Now, I could follow Flood's painting and put the 4 planes on, which I do want to do. I do have the parts for the cradles for the aircraft. However, I can't with the photo etch set from Gold Medal Models. They give you the struts and supports and everything, so it really does dress up that biplane. So I have to look into that one. I'm still struggling between either 4 or 2, and probably most likely I might wind up just saying no to that photo etch anyway. It looks like it's going to be more trouble than it's worth, and I'm going to probably wind up going with the 4 planes on there. So that's kind of a choice that I'm sort of making right now and struggling with in the build. Apart from that, it seems to be going pretty well. Like I said, it's the detail phase now. Most of the main parts are in place. The basic model is pretty much there. I do have a couple of those booms to add in the stern, which have to go on, and I have to detail them as well. So it's going to take a little time, and I'm looking forward to finishing it. One of the things I also wanted to point out is I don't usually like to attach the propellers until I'm absolutely done with the model, and there's a reason why I don't. In case some of you are looking, okay, he's built the whole model, but why hasn't he attached the propellers? I don't like to attach the propellers for a couple of reasons. One, they're plastic. The model is going to get banged around, being picked up and put down, not through a fault of my own, but parts have been known to break. Or actually, yeah, through a fault of my own, maybe, but I do that way, so this way at least I can get a clear coat of gold over the whole propeller too as well without any holidays, and it prevents them from getting broken. So it's typically a last detail that I'll do. One of the other things I do like to do is I like to work from the inside out when I photo etch, when I add the railings. So my forward deck is going to be mainly the railings, so that will compensate for the lack of ladders in the forward superstructure. When I put the photo etch on, you're not really going to notice that anyway, so I'm hoping that I can get away with that as well in the model. So there's little things, like I said, there's little things here and there in the kit that I'm not happy with. I wish I could have gotten the 1935 gun directors that I wanted, because I had a great plan that was drawn up in Myron Smith's book. It's a great line drawing that shows the Pennsylvania. So this brings us up to today, and I look forward to doing more videos. Have a great evening. Thanks.